Hello, welcome to episode 12. This week we'll be discussing development updates to collections, our new inspiration blog, and updates to the Amazon Marketplace. And stay tuned to the end where we'll be running our December draw again for another winner. Introducing the team, I'm Mark. I'm responsible for member success. We have Dan, who takes care of social media. Hi, Dan.
All right, guys. How's it going?
We've got Mike, who runs the day-to-day operations. Hey, Mike.
Hey, guys.
There we go. So, I'm going to jump straight into the first-time sellers list. It's a really easy one for me this week. It's nice and easy. So we've got two of them who've sold for the first time in the last 7 days, and that is Nigel Atkinson and Duncan Harley. And this week's top 5 sellers are Jay Biggerdike, Dynamoa, Keith Douglas, Mal Spain, and Rosie Spooner. So that's me.
Well,
Dan,
well done.
What's going on with social?
Mark, you ended up having not to actually lose your breath the entire time. You actually, it was quite easy for you this week.
Yes, good, wasn't it? Yeah. I can
Yeah,
actually
so
breathe.
in social media, our editor's choices for the week are Paddy Art with Walking to Rosilli, Gower Peninsula, Jay Biggerdike with 40 years of service, John Finney with Edale. A guy's going to correct me on that. Edale Valley Winter Landscape.
Edale Valley was perfectly good.
Perfect. David Chanel with Liverpool Waterfront. And Gary Eason with Lugana's Spitfire 303 Squadron.
Yeah, some really nice ones there. The old, I quite like the colourful Liverpool waterfront there. I think that's quite poignant. I think Jerry Marsden, who wrote Ferry Across the Mersey, passed away last week. So I'm sure that there will be people searching for that image that will have fond memories of that. So, that's a good one for me.
Liverpool was in our top searches as always. The Merseyside is always really popular for our top searches.
Yeah.
And
nice.
as you guys can see, we're also including some more aviation art because, aviation is a huge market on photo for me. And every now and then, a plane or aviation stuff creeps into our top searches. So we've actually got 2 planes this week. So congrats to Gary and Jay Biggerdike.
Did you guys hear the sonic boom over in your parts a couple of days ago? Did you hear that on the news?
I read about it in the news. Yeah, I never experienced it, but I'd love that. I must admit, I really like all the aviation images that we've got. It's a subject close to our hearts here. In my house, because my father-in-law's father, or my wife's grandfather, was actually a rear gunner on a Lancaster. So it's, all those things are mean a lot to this family. So I can see why they sell.
Definitely.
Well, I know where you can find a picture there, Mark.
Yeah, happy days.
Okay, so on to the top 5 searches of the last 7 days. We have Putsborough at number 1, Anglesey at number 2, the Jersey Channel Islands.
Sorry. Did you mean Anglesey?
Is it Anglesey? I've said Anglesey the past.
That's Anglesey. It's definitely Anglesey.
All right.
Do you want to do that again?
Anglesey at number 2, the Jersey Channel Islands at number 3, Northern Ireland at number 4, and Ilkley Moor at number 5. And remember, guys, if you do have any images of these locations or keywords, get out there and start making collections based around those, because as I said last week, we're going to be developing the front end for customers to browse collections more and more, and they'll be landing on those collections. So if you see a top search and you have photos of those collections, be proactive off that and build a collection around those. And of course, last week we spoke about what makes a good collection, and why are we talking about collections so much? It's because the team are working on a customer inspiration area. And this will basically be a really new, exciting way for customers to discover collections, featured artists, featured weekly images in a magazine or blog format.
We're going to create this really sort of vibrant sort of magazine style blog feature. And part of the content of that is going to be, the primary content of that is going to be collections, but it's also going to be an opportunity for you to feature a lot more highly in the content of that. And we're going to be sort of drawing you guys in to get involved, because that's great content that the customers do want to know. They're interested in buying from people who like buying from people. So they want to know about the photographers that have created the image as well. So it's all going to be part of that whole magazine vibe. And I think that brings us on to collections as well, doesn't it, really?
Well, actually, hold on. Before you go further, I've noticed this week, because when we sell all our pictures, what is sent out is a letter of authenticity, or just tells with the order. And what happens is there's a quick brief of who Photo4Me is, but then there's also your bio of who you are. So make sure that you do fill out your bios, because people are interested in knowing who you are. Because there was one that sold this weekend. The customer was quite disappointed. They saw, I got my letter, but I didn't know anything about the photographer. And then I went on to the actual PDF, and it just has like their Photo4Me direct link to their profile, but nothing else. So do fill it in your bio section. So people do mean, people want to know. And also same thing with the description. Although we bang on about keywords in description, but in that letter is also the description of the picture. So make sure you fill out the relevant information and let them know where the picture was taken, and whatever else you can give the buyer. So it's really helpful, everyone.
Yeah, people want to know those stories, right?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to get at, guys, is across the board. Make sure where we provide you guys with a field to fill in, whether it's a description for an image, a bio for your profile, or a description for a collection. Take the time to fill these things out, and think about selling yourself to a customer. As we spoke about last week, it's really less about the technical stuff. Unfortunately, it's less about the technical stuff of what camera you used, what f-stop lens you used to capture that image, and think more about the emotional story behind taking that image. A bit more about what you're striving to achieve in your work artistically. These sorts of things are what the customer are interested in. And as we develop this inspiration blog, those are the sorts of things that we're going to build off and start presenting to customers in an emotive and engaging way. So do take the time to fill these areas out.
Yeah, we don't do it just for a laugh. They do serve a good purpose.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, sort of, think about your collections as well, because organizing them to public versus unlisted is quite important as well. If you haven't got a lot to say about a collection, and it's just a collection for your information and just so that you can be organized, that's all well and good. But think about the saleability of that collection. So if it hasn't got if it's just for your records to keep information and keep your images organized, that's brilliant. But it's not what's going to attract a customer to it. So you need to think about what the customers are going to want. And so when we say, the top searches this week are, Putsborough, for instance, if people have gotten images of Putsborough or got a collection around Putsborough, put those in and organise it that way, and think about, why you took those pictures in Putsborough. What was it that drew you to that? What was it that drew you to take those particular images? Because that's the thing that people are going to want to know. And I also noticed in the upvoter, just while we're on collections, Dan, that I think it was White Landscapes put some good advice in the sort of discussing about organising your collections, to plan them before you start building them. Think about, he suggested sort of write a list down on paper of what you were going to put in each collection and what collections you were going to put together, rather than just sort of jumping straight in and using the technology. Which I can vouch for as a designer. I tend not to switch the computer on first and use the tools that are available. I tend to use this first with a bit of paper, and and plan what I'm going to do, and think about the journey a little bit before rushing straight in and trying to retrofit stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually interesting. It's interesting because if you remember when we spoke with Allison and also John in our previous podcast, it was all about how they prepared before they went out and took went to a shoot. It was just sort of like they would plan ahead, and it's the same thing when you market your work. It's just you're planning ahead. You just don't go and spur the moment and say, I'm going to create a collection of anything. It's have a clear idea of what you want to achieve before you start with it, and you'll get hopefully better results.
Yeah. So there's two things there. It's defining, what a public and unlisted collections is. So when a collection's public, that is available on the commercial site for customers to discover. If you're using it for organization, for personal use, make it unlisted. Remember, unlisted is different to private in the sense that unlisted can be still shared to people through anyone who has access to the link. So if you do want to make unlisted collections, you can make those and share that via a link, but they will not be available on the commercial site. And again, thinking about what goes in the collection, be critical about what you put in. Smaller collections work best.
Yes, absolutely.
Because unfortunately, if a customer lands in there, they might not make it to page 6 or 7, unless you have outstanding photos and they're super keen to find the right one. Be critical and make sure the photos that are in there serve the customer's interest best, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Customer centric, always
think of the customer. And on that note, organizing collections, it's a bit of there's again two things there. Writing down collections and planning in advance helps with organizing them, but it's also brought up because some photographers have problems with choosing the main image for the collection and reorganizing collections as a whole. So let's talk about what development have been working on. It's
nice
safe to say that choosing a main image for your theme was spoke about a lot in the Facebook group, and we're glad to say that this should be released next week.
So there's been a lot of call for that. So from the start. So yeah, I think that's really good. So yeah,
it was kind of hidden on how it was originally planned out, but I'm glad the feedback came through to say let's do it this way. So yeah, absolutely, we're on it.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. And also something that Alison Chambers quite rightly brought up is to do with descriptions being cut off when they're viewed as on the commercial site when customers can preview the collection. That will now have a clickable ellipsis for customers to read the rest of your description rather than being abruptly cut off. Again, we do encourage you guys to take time and write longer descriptions, as we just mentioned, because it is an important selling point for the customer.
Yeah, just make sure it's not too long, or else it could get cut off. There's got to be some sort of max. Is there?
Yeah. No. So currently descriptions in preview format will be cut off because we can't have a 500-word description on the commercial site. But there's now a clickable ellipsis for customers to read more before going into the main portfolio. So that issue has been addressed.
Yeah, I mean we're not expecting the 5,000-word treatise on each image or your bio or anything. But yeah, if don't limit yourself, put the right information there. Because again, all of this information is searchable by Google as well. So it will aid search.
So think about that. Just it's good to have length, but not too much length because people just get bored and move to the next one. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, of absolutely.
Course. And one other significant update from development is that popular searches, the ones that I talk about every week, will be expanded on and show a much longer list of results using live data, and we'll also show you the number of searches that customers are searching for particular search terms. So again, this is another research tool for you guys to use, and it is a way to be proactive off of what customers are searching for weekly and to build collections around those. So you won't just have to rely on our weekly top 5 that we talk about in the podcast, and you can get up-to-date data whenever you want.
That's brilliant. Cool. Oh, that's excellent.
That's great. And just a couple more updates to the general UX. Pages will be added to the top and bottom of the collections creator, meaning you won't have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page to skip page. Again, we'll duplicate the add or remove and select and deselect all buttons at the bottom to further reduce scrolling. Superb. And the name of the collection you're adding will appear when you hover over the add to collection button. That's just to help mitigate any confusion as to where the photo will be going.
I think it is our intention long term to make this a really, really powerful tool. And we are listening to the feedback that you guys are giving us. It is valid. Obviously, it does take time to roll out some of these changes, but yeah, we are on it. We do want to make this, a really powerful tool because it aids not just use as artists, organizing your collections, but it does aid sales as well. So, making it the best platform that we can is our goal here. So yeah, thank you for bearing with us on those.
Definitely. And I think that's everything from content and social media. So Mike, what's been going on behind the scenes?
Well, actually, I addressed a couple of them previously, but I had this question. I think you sent this to me just because I think it was a question on, I don't know where it came from, Dan. Was this a social question about the minimum requirements for uploading images in file format, color space, max size?
Yeah, we went back and forth.
Max sizes.
I think you got an email, and then I got an email, and then I emailed you back.
Well, long story short, we want the best possible file that you can upload. Now, when you take a picture, when a photographer takes a picture, if you're a beginner, make sure that the camera settings is on the highest camera setting that camera can have. Obviously, if you're a lot more experienced photographer and you know your camera inside and out, and you have a preference for which sort of file size you want to take it at, go for it. Did I cut in or out there? Because I felt that you guys were frozen.
No, we're listening intently, Mike.
Oh, okay. All right. So now sometimes trying to create the largest possible file when you put it in a photo editor causes issues. So what happens is that you see the picture in front of you, then you try to stretch it. Now what happens when is that when you have those little bits of data or those little pixels, they will then start to expand. And when they start to expand, they start to clone beside each other. And then you'll start getting fuzziness. So let's say you took a picture at a resolution of 1000 by 2000, but you wanted to stretch it to get to a 5,000 by 10,000. Well, you've just duplicated all those little tiny pixels 4 times. So that pixel, that sharpness is gone now because you've pretty much cloned that pixel 4 times. And what that causes is the picture to just become really out of focus and blurry and pixelated. So just be careful if you want to expand the pictures, that could be a result of it. So next up is, ideally, if it's colored picture, we want it to be 5 megs or above. Now, I know there's plenty of pictures that are below that, but I'm just saying this is the optimal sort of setting or the optimal sort of results that we want to see. We can accept images from 1 megabyte all the way to 120 megabytes, 120 guys, megabytes. Between 1 and 5 is more or less reserved for the white and black imagery, just because white, now I'll probably be corrected of this, don't necessarily hold a lot of data. So that's why those ones are a little bit less on black and white images. But again, we do accept images that are of color between 1 and 5, but sometimes they're just hit or miss with the quality. And obviously we want the best possible picture. And then obviously we had the conversation of DPI. Again, DPI, the higher the better. If we get 300, then that's great. If we get less, we work with it. There's nothing wrong with like having a little bit less than 300. And then when it comes to pixels, now I'm more of a stickler when it comes to pixels, because if a picture is uploaded and it's only, let's say, as I gave the example before, of 1,000 by 2,000, if I always take that every 100 pixels is an inch on printing. So if you have a 1,000 by 2,000, that would scale up nicely to a 10 by 20 inch picture. Now, obviously we can go higher, but I find the quality, this is my experience, is that the quality slightly regresses as you go higher. So if, let's say, a person only uploaded a resolution of 800 by 1,200, that fits an 8 by 12 really nicely. But if somebody bought a canvas that was 30 by 50, well, we're trying to really, really blow up that picture. And that's when you start getting the problems with the fuzziness and the pixelation, because we just can't expand the picture that high. So, I mean, if we can say there's a golden range or a range that we really like to see, is probably around that 3,000, 4,000, or, by whatever. I mean, 250 or 2,500 is nice, and then above. But then once you get to 6,000, you cut it off, because we don't make anything larger than a 40 by 60, and we don't have the capacity to print much higher than that. Because I think for our printers, the largest size we can print is 1.2 meters is the shortest length or width, because then we can go as long as the roll is.
Yeah.
So keep it in mind, all those points, and as I say, just upload the best possible picture. If we run into problems after the picture is sold, then we contact you, either myself or Mark or Louis or whoever will contact you and say, can you just provide us? But it just slows down the whole production. So, if we can speed up production, it's a win for everybody.
Cool.
So I hope that answers your question.
well, from the top,
that question that keeps coming back.
From the top, Mike, just to make this clear for the person who asked, file format?
File format JPEG. We don't accept anything else. Back in the day it was TIFF files, but we don't accept TIFFs.
Cool.
JPEG it is.
Color space?
sRGB.
sRGB. Min-max file size, you said was anything
1 meg.
Yeah.
1 meg to 120, but when it comes to color, try and get to 5. Obviously we'll accept less, but 5 is a good start.
And DPI.
The box of worms or the can of worms. I would say the highest you can possibly make it. So 300 is great. If it's less, then it's not the end of the world. It's just we want the best possible product.
Yeah, I think for beginners, export at a DPI of 300. There's no harm in that. Of course, we all know that resolution, pixel resolution affects the DPI regardless of the DPI setting when it hits print. The other thing to draw upon is if your photo sells and there is an issue at print, that issue will be brought up and addressed before it reaches the customer. And that's always been the pipeline, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it's always priorities. We don't want the customer to receive a picture that has dust spots or pixelated. So we try to stop that. We have 3 stops in our manufacturing process. So the first one is when the file is sold, we look at it on a digital copy of it. Either myself or Louis or Mark or whoever will look at the file. We'll see if it pulls up anything. Then after that, the manufacturer will look at it, assuming we okay it. They'll print it off, and then at the end of the process, once it's all made up, if there's been an issue before it's boxed, so then it'll be brought up again. So it's the digital copy on our side, digital copy on manufacturing side, and then the finished product once it's made or printed out on with manufacturing. So we do try to put those stops in there, or those stage gates in the middle of everything, to make sure the customer gets the best possible product.
Yeah, cool, wicked. And you've got updates about Amazon, haven't you?
Yeah, so we're hoping, fingers crossed, that Amazon is going to launch next week. This is going to be Amazon UK, not Amazon EU, because we're still working with the whole EU shipping logistics of that, just because of Brexit. We had just been accepted as our brand registry application was confirmed today through Amazon. So that's a big step for us, because now we're, nobody else can take our product, but also we are in control. And so that's just protecting our listings essentially, and our sellers. And then I guess that's it. It's just sort of like we'll know more in the next coming days.
Yeah, we got a bit of work still to do behind the scenes to make it all work. Yeah. But just to let people know and comfort people that it's not going to affect anyone's commissions if we sell on Amazon.
It's going to be coming out of ours.
So it comes. You'll get the same as you would do if you sold on the Photo4Me platform. So yeah, John did ask me to convey that, just to make sure that you all guys were at ease with that. So yeah, we will be we'll be exploring that.
Yeah, and then just with this, Amazon is all about how fast the product can get to you. We're working on reducing our lead times across the board for all products. So canvases, we're trying to get that as fast as possible. Same thing with the frame prints. We're still in discussions with manufacturing to get that as short of a window as we possibly can, and when we have to go through all the checks and everything else that comes along with it. So we're doing our best.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, okay, thanks for that update. Thanks for your updates as well, Dan. So we're going to move on quite swiftly to the prize draw. Okay, cool. So it's prize draw time for December, and it's prize draw take 2. Some artists were accidentally left out of last week's draw, so we're going to run it again. So
Out of fairness.
Out of fairness, absolutely. If you were entered into last week, you will not be entered a second time. Sorry about that. So here we go. If you've uploaded 20 or more approved images in the month of December, you were automatically entered for a chance to win the £500. You definitely are entered this time round. So we'll put the artist IDs of everyone into the list now, and we'll check to see if the winner meets the T's and C's. So good luck, everyone.
All right, guys, and here we have it, the wheel of names. So how this works is we're going to paste in the owner ID of every photographer who uploaded 20 or more approved images to the site in the month of December. And as this is our second draw, as Mark mentioned at the start, if you were entered last week, your owner ID will be removed to avoid repeat entries and keep it fair. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in the owner IDs. We're going to hit shuffle. And then we're going to click to spin, and whoever this lands on will be in the chance to win £500. The team will go away, check their portfolio of uploads to make sure they meet the T's and C's, and if they do, they win £500 cash. So let's give it a spin.
Cool, Dan, spin that wheel.
Here we go. We have artist ID 17189, and we have 17189, which is Beryl Karan. And now the team are going to go away, check her portfolio of uploads to make sure she meets the T's and C's.
I think we're good. Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Beryl is our winner.
Yeah,
So
we can confirm that, guys.
we can confirm. Yeah.
We can confirm that Beryl is the winner.
Cool. So congratulations to Beryl.
So, guys, our winner is Beryl Curran, and we are going to give her a call and let her know that she's won the £500. So over to Mike. Mike's going to do the honours.
Yeah, just putting her number into my phone. Okay, there. I hope that's the right number. Here we go, guys. Speaker.
Yes.
Hi, Beryl. It's Michael from Photo4Me. How you doing?
Hello. I thought it was going to be a nuisance call. Hiya.
No, it's just me. I just wanted to let you know that we've done our £500 prize draw for December, and congratulations, you are our winner.
Oh my word! Thanks very much. What happened to the other guy that won?
Oh no, he continues to, he won, but because of there was we ran a draw because we realized there was some numbers missing. So out of fairness, we ran the draw again. So effectively, there's two winners for the December draw. So you are our second winner.
Oh, cheers! Thanks very much. What a happy New Year that is.
Yeah. So congratulations. So what is going to happen? I will send you an email now to confirm the winnings, and we'll set that up and send you the winnings in the next few days.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. And happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New And
I'm shocked. I'm in shock.
That's fantastic. What I would say though is, yeah, we are live right now. So yeah, as you said hi to everybody. That's cool.
Yes. Okay then. Yeah. Oh, I should have put the posh voice on, shouldn't I? Ew, how lovely. Not this common old voice.
Oh, we love a ready boy.
Oh. Thank you.
No problem, Beryl. Congratulations again, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right, cheers now.
Cheers.
Bye. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
The guys are laughing. They're saying bye too.
Bye. Keep drinking the dead man's fingers.
Oh yeah. No, we got some of that going.
Yeah.
It's this side.
Yeah, Mark's pointed it out right now. He's like, oh, there it is.
Cheers now. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Bye.
There we go.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
There you go. So well done, Beryl. And yeah, that's yeah, we have to start getting plugs with dead man's fingers soon, won't we?
No, it might be
Where's our royalties? Where's our
Yeah, I know. I'm looking for my free bottle.
little podcast sponsor soon.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be good. Yeah, so well done, Beryl. Again, thanks very much for joining us this week. I think that's all from us.
Yeah,
And,
just
we'll see you guys next week.
sorry, there was just one more shout out. Of course, as always,
Yep, go
if you guys are looking to get involved with the podcast, and remember, we are introducing the new inspiration blog for customers soon. We're going to
Absolutely.
be providing you more ways to get involved with us, whether it's in the written form of an interview, or if you want to come on here and chat to us, or show us a Lightroom walkthrough, or show members how to organise their portfolio better. If you've got an idea, reach out to any of us in the Facebook group, on social media, or email Mike at customer care. And that's about it, guys.
Happy days. Yep. Thanks for joining us. And we'll catch you again next week. Cheers. Take care.
Bye.